Welcome to Okashun channel. In Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, there are many facts that were not fully depicted in the movie version, such as why the insects and the toxic jungle were born, what the giant warrior was, and what will become of this world. Today's video will show you the facts and mysteries. The movie version is the story from the first volume to the middle of the second volume of the 7-volume manga version. Since the story had not been completed when the movie was made, the original story reveals mysteries and endings that were not depicted in the movie version. Please watch it until the end. The toxic jungle is a place where plants that emit miasma, that is harmful to humans, are spreading and deformed insects are inhabiting. The toxic jungle is gradually expanding its area, and is becoming a threat to the survival of humanity. When and why were these things created? In the movie version, it seems that the toxic jungle was created by the power of nature to purify the pollution, but in fact, it was artificially created 1,000 years ago to purify the polluted world based on the plan of the humans of the old world. The plants in the toxic jungle purified the polluted earth and created a clean earth underneath it over a period of more than 1,000 years. The insects were artificial organisms created by the humans of the old world in order to protect the rotting sea. Neither the toxic jungle nor the insects can live in the clean world, so they are destined to disappear after the purification of the world. The old humans had a high level of civilization, but due to repeated wars between cities, the world became heavily polluted. They planned to destroy the entire polluted world and purify it again. The old humans then decided to complement the advanced civilization and organisms of the old world in the cemetery. However, if the old humans were to be resurrected as they were, the same thing could happen all over again. Therefore, genetic manipulation was used to create a new species that had lost all fighting spirit, and they were stored in the cemetery as eggs. The plan was that they would awaken after the earth had been cleansed of all life and resurrect with the once extinct creatures and scientific civilization to rebuild a peaceful world. In Nausicaa's time, the legend of the giant warrior was that it was a fearsome weapon that burned the world to the ground during the 7 days of fire, the final war. In the movie version, the resurrected giant warrior are depicted almost exclusively as weapons. In fact, the giant warrior were artificial gods created by the old humans to carry out their plans, and they played the role of arbiters to deal with all kinds of conflicts. In other words, the 7 days of fire was a deliberate decision made by the arbiter, the giant warrior, to destroy the old world. In the manga version, the giant warrior reacts to the secret stone Nausicaä is holding and starts to move, recognizing Nausicaa as his mother. In order to appease the giant warrior, Nausicaa names him Oma as her own child, and together they go to the cemetery, which complements the civilizations and creatures of the old world. When Oma wakes up as a judge and learns of her mother Nausicaa's heart, Oma attempts to destroy the cemetery, and after being injured by an attack from the cemetery, Oma dies in Nausicaa's care. The old humans plan to send only peaceful people to the purified world. Who are Nausicaa and the others who survived the 7 days of fire and continue to live in a more polluted world? In fact, Nausicaa and the rest of the present humans were genetically engineered by the old humans to survive in a polluted environment. The old humans created Nausicaa and the other pollution-applied humans in order to monitor the Earth's purification systems, such as the toxic jungle and insects. Furthermore, in order to prevent conflict between the polluted humans and the peaceful new humans that would be born on the purified Earth, the polluted humans were designed to be unable to live in a clean environment. In other words, Nausicaa and the other polluted humans were destined to become extinct when the entire Earth was cleansed. The cemetery that Nausicaa and Oma went to was itself an artificial life form with consciousness. Nausicaa rejects the Lord of the Tombs who talks about the ideals and plans of the old humans. Nausicaa had her child, Oma, the giant warrior, kill the Lord of the Tombs and destroy the cemetery. She then returned home with all the truth in her heart. The war was over and the world was at peace, but Nausicaa's decision was an act that completely cut off the way for life to survive on Earth. This is because Nausicaa's destruction of the cemetery caused the extinction of all living things that could not live in the clean world after the rotting sea completed its purification of the earth, and the loss of new life that was to be born. By the hand of Nausicaa, the extinction of all humanity and life was decided. What did you think? If you read the manga version, you will be more in touch with Hayao Miyazaki's profound and complex message, unlike the movie version. That's it for today's video. If you like this video at all, please rate it highly and subscribe to my channel.